Top stories tonight in Y News. In his first public remarks, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. speaks about the proposed Maharlika Investment Fund amid apprehension from several groups.
Justice Secretary Crispin Boying Remulla discloses that the Philippine government has not yet received an extradition request from the United States government against religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy.
Department of Social Welfare and Development Secretary Erwin Tulfo shares confidence in facing once again the powerful Commission on Appointments.
And Bureau of Meteorology declares heatwave emergency in northern Australia states.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 12th of December 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado.
First in the news, in his first public remarks about the proposed Maharlika Investment Fund, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said that establishing the Sovereign Wealth Fund would be another way to get additional investments. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said that the proposed Maharlika Wealth Fund would be advantageous for the Philippines amid apprehension from several groups. Under the proposed Maharlika Wealth Fund, the government will allow to invest surplus reserves in real estates and financial assets.
It's very clear that we need added investment. This is another way to get that.
Initially, under the proposal, government financial institutions such as the Government Service Insurance System or GSIS, Social Security System or SSS, and the Development Bank of the Philippines or DBP would be allowed to invest their funds for higher return. Some lawmakers already amended the proposal and removed the GSIS and SSS as sources of seed money for Maharlika. President Marcos Jr. said the proposal is going through the process in the legislature.
Well, we're just doing the regular process of looking at the bill. Well, not me. It's the legislatures. Let them do their jobs. Tama yan. Para gawin nila perfect.
The president also said debates on the proposal should cease until we see the final form of the bill. Meanwhile, PBBM would bring up the plight of Filipino seafarers when he meets with leaders of the European Union during the ASEAN-EU Commemorative Summit. The chief executive said the Philippines would address the deficiencies in the country's maritime education that put at risk the jobs of 50,000 Filipino seafarers deployed on European Union vessels.
I think that we will going to do everything that we can. We cannot leave it hanging like this. We cannot leave it hanging like this, and this is our last chance. So we have to we really have to get it done.
Early this year, the EU flagged the Philippines for deficiencies in local seafarer training and education. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The House of Representatives has begun the plenary debates for the proposed Maharlika Investment Fund. Meanwhile, the House Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries approved a provision adding penalties to individuals violating investment guidelines under MIF. Eileen Sarudo will tell us why.
Lawmakers want to solidify the safeguards for the proposed creation of the Maharlika Investment Fund or MIF. During an interview, Manila 5th District Representative Erwin Cheng confirmed that the House Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries has approved more than amendments to the Maharlika Fund. One includes adding penal provisions. Under the said provisions, any director, trustee, or officer who willfully or maliciously violates investment guidelines set by the Board of Directors or breached any investment agreement shall face penalties. Penalties include imprisonment of not less than 1 year but not more than 5 years, or a fine of not less than 50,000 pesos but not more than 2 million pesos.
So marami tayong mga bagay na nilagay para ma-safeguard natin. Meron na tayong 4 na independent directors from 2. Meron tayong risk management. Meron tayong risk investment officer. Tapos naglagay din tayo ng advisory board na kasama doon ng NEDA. Naglagay rin tayo ng provision dito na any investment kailangan dumaan sa NEDA. Meron tayong COA, meron tayong external auditor, meron tayong internal auditor.
Another amendments include the name reverting back to the Maharlika Investment Fund, and 20% of MIF profits will go to social services programs.
20% of the income of the Maharlika Investment Fund mapupunta sa social welfare. I think it's something na dapat tingnan natin sa implementing rules and regulations natin. Pero ako, to be honest, gusto ko yung ganon, yung diretso sa tao, ayuda, support, subsidy sa tao.
The lawmaker, however, remains unsure whether the proposed bill creating the MIF will be approved on a second reading before the holiday break. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the Samahang Industriyang Agrikultura or SINAG warns that the price of onion may spike as high as 500 pesos per kilogram. This is if importation will not be allowed in the country. The group's chairman, Rosendo So, has recommended that the government should allow importation of 6,000 metric tons of white and red onion to augment the local supply. So said that the price of onion in supermarkets already reached 380 pesos per kilogram. The prevailing retail price of onion in Metro Manila markets increases to 300 pesos per kilogram from 280 last Friday, December 9. The Department of Agriculture, or DA, emphasized that the need for the importation should be studied thoroughly because it might be abused by smugglers.
Siyempre, kung nakita niyan yung smuggler, isa yan. Hindi natin alam kung sino kasabot sa Department of Agriculture and sa custom. Kasi parang i-insist nila na may stamps pero wala naman na tayo nakikita saan sila kukuha.
Sabi rin ng atin pong mga kasama sa civil society, mag-import ng regulated, konti lang. But yung konti na yan baka dumami. Pag issue mo pa lang ng import permit, baka sa paligid lang yung mga sibuyas yan, lumabas sa ating market.
Justice Secretary Crispin Boying Remulla disclosed that the Philippine government has not yet received an extradition request from the United States government against the Kingdom of Jesus Christ leader Apollo Quiboloy. Quiboloy is sanctioned by U.S. Treasury Department by freezing his group's property or assets in America. This is over the serious allegations of human rights violations, sex trafficking, money smuggling, among others. But Remulla clarified the Philippine government will abide when an official extradition will be given by the U.S. government.
We're waiting for things to happen on our end. Sa atin naman kasi we have a treaty with them, we have an extradition treaty. We have to abide by the terms of conditions of our agreements with our friends from abroad.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Elections urges the public to grab the opportunity to register during the reopening of the continuing voter registration across the country. Dante Amento tells us why.
The nationwide continuing voter registration will only run over a month. It has already started today, December 12 until January 31, 2023. Hence, the Commission on Elections or COMELEC urges qualified applicants to register early.
Batay doon sa nakaraang natin, registration, nasa loob ng 2,000 ay naka 3 million tayo. So umaasa po kami on the minimum by January 31. Minimum po ito. Sana maka 2 million kami o higit pa. Ang current po na botante natin ngayon ay nasa 66 million.
The services include reactivation, transfer of voter registration record, among others. The application form can be downloaded through the COMELEC website.
natanggal sa listahan, gustong maibalik. Ito na rin po yung pagkakataon para kayo ay ma-reinstate o ma-include. Yung pong lumipat na mga tirahan, tawag po natin dyan ay transfer of registration. Ito na rin po yung pagkakataon na higit sa lahat. Yung mga overseas voters po natin na inaasahan nila sa susunod na mga halalan, nandito na sila sa Pilipinas.
The poll body advises to bring a valid ID such as national ID, driver's license, student ID, PWD ID, and even certification from the barangay with picture. Meanwhile, in Manila, the voter registrations are being conducted in different malls. The spaces are enough and convenient.
Nag-decide po kami at sa pakikipagtulungan ng mga mall partners na mag-registration po kami sa iba't ibang malls. So sa ngayon po, wala na pong gagawing rehistro sa aming opisina. Ang atin pong registration, pagka po District 1, dapat po dito kayo pumunta sa SM Manila.
Dantiamento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And foreign news abroad. Parts of Australia experience temperatures between 4 to 10 degrees above average for this time of the year. Megan Dog will give us the details live. Maeve?
Elsie, much of the northern parts of Western Australia, the Northern Territory and Queensland were sweltering under heatwave conditions over the weekend. A remote area in Western Australia's Pilbara region has reached up to 48 degrees Celsius on Sunday, December 11, and 46 degrees Celsius for the town of Marble Bar. While no record temperatures have been broken, senior forecaster Jonathan Howe said the heat could still come as a shock, especially to Queenslanders who have been experiencing a wet year. Several towns have experienced high temperatures not felt in years and even made it to the top 20 highest temperatures in the world. Heatwave conditions are expected to break the following week as rain returns to northern Australia. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Mavian Dog reporting live from Australia. A three-story residential block was destroyed in the blast in the early hours of Saturday morning, December 9, at St. Helier, Jersey. 5 people are now confirmed to have died following an explosion, and police said around a dozen others remain missing. Emergency rescue workers continue to search at the scene of the Jersey Flats explosion site. Police Chief Robin Smith said that the search had moved to a recovery stage, which is likely to take weeks. He also added that it looks likely that the blast was a gas explosion, but it had not been confirmed. Chief Minister Christina Moore said that the community of Jersey has been immensely shocked and saddened by the incident, and the government had been overwhelmed by the offers of support. We'll share more global stories to you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Elsie. Department of Social Welfare and Development Secretary Erwin Tulfo expressed confidence in facing once again the powerful Commission on Appointments following the confirmation that he is set to be bypassed again by the Commission. This report will tell us why.
Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD Secretary Erwin Tulfo, is optimistic that he is more equipped to face the Commission on Appointments, or CA. This comes after Senate President Juan Miguel Mig Zubiri announced on Monday, December 12, that Tulfo will be bypassed for the second time due to lack of material time. Congress will go into session break beginning December 17. Tulfo says he and his lawyers will submit all the documents needed to answer the issues surrounding his citizenship and libel case conviction. He also expressed confidence that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will reappoint him as the agency's chief.
Tignan na lamang ho natin, ayoko silang pangunahan, nasa sa kamay po ng ating 24 na miyembro ng Commission on Appointments. Pero I'm confident na may sagot po tayo doon sa dalawang issues na ni-raise po. We are ready now.
Earlier, Zubiri admitted that Tulfo's confirmation is a complicated one due to potential legal impediments. The Senate President revealed that Tulfo's libel case had already a final conviction before the Supreme Court. Zubiri said the CA has never confirmed an appointee who had a final conviction in the High Court.
Final na yun. This conviction was final. There were no jail sentences. It was a mere payment of fines. Pag-aralan muna natin mabuti yung legal implications niyan. Because it's moral turpitude. There have been legal precedents on by the Supreme Court on moral turpitude on the issue of libel. Not on my watch na hindi po natin pag-aralan na mabuti.
Zubiri added that the CA will invite retired and sitting justices during Tulfo's confirmation hearing to provide legal opinion. Tulfo is set to appear once again before the CA in January next year. Should the CA fail to decide on his confirmation for the third time, Zubiri said they will have a caucus and vote on the final fate of Tulfo's ad interim appointment. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
In other news, members of the House of Representatives have approved House Bill number 6522, or the bill seeking the creation of the Philippine Center for Disease Prevention and Control, or CDC. With an overwhelming 255 votes, the bill was approved on the third and final reading. Under the said bill, the CDC will be an agency directly under the Office of the Secretary of the Department of Health, or DOH. The said agency will be the technical authority on forecasting, analysis, strategy, and standards development for the prevention and control of all diseases of public health importance. It is also tasked to coordinate with global CDCs and act as a national focal point of the Philippines for international health regulation hazards. House Bill 6522 is among the priority bills listed by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. during his State of the Nation address.
House of Representatives Speaker Martin Romualdez announced on Monday, December 12, the need to establish an independent regulatory system that will ensure fair competition and transparency in the growing data transmission industry in the country. The statement was made as the lower chamber passed on third and final reading House Bill 6, or the proposed Open Access in Data Transmission Act. 243 lawmakers voted yes, with 0 negative vote and 3 abstentions. Romualdez noted the proposal would establish a strong foundation of a framework that will create an environment within the data transmission industry that is conducive to open, fair, and innovation-propelled competition. The National Telecommunications Commission, or NTC, shall be mandated to utilize radio spectrum resources in the allocation and assignment of such finite resources in the transmission of data. This can be achieved by ensuring that spectrum is made available for the use of all registered data transmission industry participants. The proposal also includes the imposition of a fine of 300,000 pesos to 5 million pesos for every day of violation per prescribed performance standards to any data transmission industry entity that will violate or fail to comply with the minimum service requirement.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has tapped former PDIG Ilocos Norte Mayor Eduardo Eddie Guillen as the new acting administrator and member of the Board of Directors of the National Irrigation Administration, or NIA, at the Malacanang Palace in Manila on Friday, December 9. The acting NIA administrator took his oath of office before Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and will replace Benny Antiporda, who was ordered suspended for 6 months for grave misconduct, among other charges, following a lengthy complaint filed by NIA employees. Before his appointment, Guillen served as the municipal mayor of PDIG Ilocos Norte, which was included in this year's top 10 performing local government units. He was succeeded by his wife, incumbent Mayor Georgina Salazar Guillen. As a first-term mayor, the poverty incidence in PDIG has been reduced from 33.7% to 5.6% within less than 20 years. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering from the Mapua Institute of Technology and also studied Strategic Business Economics at the University of Asia and the Pacific.
A demerit point system for the validity of driver's license under the single ticketing system is being planned, according to the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA. JP Nunez will tell us why.
To ensure that only those qualified motorists will receive a driver's license with longer validity, transportation agencies is planning to impose the merit point system to erring motorists. This will be imposed under the single ticketing system, which is being outlined by the Metro Manila Council, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA, and the Land Transportation Office or LTO. MMDA spokesperson Attorney Melissa Karunungan cites, for example, that when motorists disregarded traffic signs, it is equivalent to 1 demerit point, while driving without license is equivalent to 5 demerit points. If the motorist gets 10 demerit points, the personnel of Land Transportation Office will confiscate the license of the driver.
Sa loob ng single ticketing system, pwede na nila matrack ang lahat ng paglabag ng isang driver. Bawat paglabag may corresponding demerit points depende po sa traffic violation.
With a single ticketing system, the database of the erring motorists will be easily accessible to traffic personnel of the local government unit, MMDA, and the LTO. The validity of driver's license of the motorists will depend upon their total demerit points once they renew driver's license.
Bawat paglabag may corresponding demerit points depende po sa traffic violation. Ang lahat ng demerits ng isang driver ay makikita po sa sistema ng LTO at maapektuhan po ang period ng validity ng lisensya nila upon renewal.
Meanwhile, the Technical Working Group of Single Ticketing System is also working out online payment for easy settlement of penalty.
Sa single ticketing system po, pag na-issue po kayo ng traffic violation receipt sa Quezon City, kahit umuwi na po kayo sa probinsya nyo, may access pa rin kayo magbayad sa pamamagitan ng mga payment centers online.
Implementation of the single ticketing system is aimed at the first quarter of 2023. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
After infections of Streptococcus, also known as Strep A, increase rapidly among children in the United Kingdom, testing kits have sold out in pharmacies. Parents now resort to online shopping. Charis Dongbowen will tell us why. Charis?
Good evening, Elsie. In recent weeks, Strep A infections have been increasing, taking the lives of 16 children who were infected, with the latest being a secondary student in England. Transmission rates have increased, with reports showing 2.3 infections per 100,000 among children aged 1 to 4 years old, now higher than it was before the COVID pandemic. Deaths among children have caused panic, with test kits selling out in stores, leaving parents to buy them online at prices over £100 to diagnose their children experiencing symptoms. Once infected by the Streptococcus pyogenes bacterium, symptoms to look out for can be as mild as sore throats, high temperatures, and skin infections like rashes. However, Strep A can also infect the respiratory system and the bloodstream. Although professionals are alerting parents to not use Strep A test kits, as diagnosis of the infection should be done clinically, says the chair of the Royal College of GPS, Professor Camilla Hawthorne. Strep A test kits are not currently sold through the National Health Service in England due to their uncertainty and high variability with results. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Charis Longbowen, reporting live from Japan. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
The House of Representatives on Monday, December 12, approved on third and final reading a bill seeking to support agrarian reform beneficiaries or ARBs from the burden of unpaid loans extended in relation to awarded agricultural land under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program or CARP under the House Bill number 6336 or the new Agrarian Emancipation Act. The unpaid amortizations, interest payments, surcharges, and penalties of existing loans of ARBs secured under the CARP or other agrarian reform programs or laws shall be condoned. This proposed law will provide broadened support services to ARBs and make them more productive and economically emancipated. With this program, the Department of Agrarian Reform, or DAR, shall issue a certificate of condonation that will be annotated on the beneficiary's emancipation patent, certificate of land ownership award, or any other title based on the applicable agrarian reform law. With the certificate of condonation, it shall erase all mortgage liens in favor of the national government as represented by the Land Bank of the Philippines, and the latter will assume the balances of unpaid obligations of ARBs to landowners.
The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, announced Tropical Storm Rosal slightly weakened as it continued to move away from the country on Monday, December 12. In its latest bulletin issued at 5 p.m., the State Weather Bureau said Rosal currently has maximum sustained winds of 75 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 90 kilometers per hour. Rosal was last seen 880 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon, moving east-northeastward at 15 kilometers per hour. Rosal is expected to rapidly weaken and may become a remnant low either Tuesday or Wednesday, and is less likely to directly bring heavy rains throughout the forecast period. The northeast monsoon is forecast to continue to cause light rains over Batanes, Cagayan, including Babuyan Islands, and Apayao. Meanwhile, Metro Manila and the rest of the country could expect isolated rain showers caused by localized thunderstorms. In the next 24 hours, the State Weather Bureau said that due to the effect of Rosal, the surge of the northeast monsoon may bring occasional gusts reaching gale force over Batanes and strong breeze to near gale strength over Babuyan Islands and the coastal and upland areas of Ilocos Norte, northern and eastern Cagayan, and eastern Isabela.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Psalms, chapter 147 and 1. It says, "Praise ye the Lord, for it is good to sing praises unto our God, for it is pleasant, and praise is comely." Those are the reasons behind the news, December 12, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harley Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people, we give glory to God.